Hello, my friends. I am sharing, as always, from the heart. Manitou and Lilu are having some food. Lilu is wagging her tail. And here's Tunkasila, my sweet, sweet girl. My wise, wise one has returned so beautifully in that when she transitioned, so March 17th, 2022, when she transitioned, she shared that I was to wear her. And so she is now returned, me wearing her. She shared that it was to be kept secret, and so I honoured that. And when she arrived, only a few days ago, when she arrived back, she then shared, now you can tell, now you can share, now you can speak of me in this way. And that is why I've shared that the circle is complete. Myself, the spirit of Tunkasila, Najana Jai, for those of you that know her in that way, for those that know of the story, the connection, the co-creation, the way that I've been walking and being with Tunkasila, and also how Lilu, bringer of light, and Manitou, humanity, come together to create this circle, which their share is a circle of story, a circle of prayer, a circle of sacred holding that they wish to bring forward, to place into our hearts for our own healing, our own wisdom, our own growth into consciousness, returning back to light, returning back to love, returning back to who we are. And so this is the start, my friends. This is the beginning. She has returned and she wishes to be heard, as do Manitou and Lilu as they walk in soul, in a physical body, and Tunkasila walks in spirit, no longer in a physical body, but feeling her presence, her power, her words, her wisdom. And what I receive before we begin these sharings, we begin these offerings, which again I speak from my heart, is I'm just allowing myself to be laid bare. I'm opening myself fully, which brings a little bit of nerves, excitement for sure, but also nerves. But before we step into this bigger place of sharing, who knows what's going to come through. There is a story that I wish to share, a story that came from land, from stars, from animals, from plants, from stones. The stories that speak to us in all ways and in all things. A story that reminds us, that speaks to us of wisdom of the earth and teachings from the stars, the cosmos, our connection to above and below, our listening, hearing from the stars, feeling from the earth, and this wisdom. And I really would love for this story to be known here. It's here, it's in my heart, but to remember it here without looking at print. But I'm hearing the call that this story is to be shared now. And I don't remember it here. So I am sharing it to you with words on paper. And I'm inviting you to just sit with the story, whether you want to watch it, whether you just want to close your eyes and hear each word, allow each word to be eaten, allow each word to be drunk into your being. And so before I begin, I wish to open up the space to welcome in all that created this story with me, to welcome and honour the spirit of Tunkasila, to welcome and honour the soul of Manitou and Lilu, to welcome and honour the nature beings, nature spirits, the elementals, the star beings, the lands, all that brought this story together for almost like a grand opening, the start. And so I wouldn't have it any other way than to light the candle to bring us all together, whether you, no matter when you're watching this, or whether you're watching it morning time, evening time, afternoon time. And so welcoming you to the story, welcoming you to great mystery, to all that is, to the one, to the creator, to all that supports and loves us. Everything from the fungi people all the way up to the star people and everything in between, to our power animals and spirit guides and teachers, all that are known to us and all that are unknown to us. Sitting just in a circle, sitting in a sacred way, and just thanking great mystery, loving great mystery, thanking all beings, all that have been before us, will be after us, all that there is. Thanking you, loving you, welcoming you, welcoming the magic of story in itself, the magic of all that has words and poetry and stories and song and blessings and medicine and magic. Welcome you all into this space. Let us begin. Let us begin. And so the story is how the canine people returned humans to the Great Council. Long, long ago, close to the time of the first sunset, all that existed lived in community together. They all recognized one another and lived as one. This included the star people, the elements and stone people, the plant and fungi people, the animal people, and the humans. They spoke a sacred language that was understood by all and lived under the guidance of the golden diamond flame, the language of the heart. Anara ik eo no tore ea matak. Ha no ochik ea wa no tome ik ea natare ea cha. Ha wa ea tome ea she. Hia na tuk ore ak ache. Mima atu ema a tik ea na o tu. O tu o ma ak ea she. Hi ma atak. Hi ma atak o we ea tu. O we ea tu me ea cha. Ha wa ase. Ha wa ase ia no tuk. Manache. 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 This community existed like a network of mycorrhiza, like mycelium, that spread all across the lands. It was one large community where, like phone lines, all were connected by delicate, invisible threads that weaved the community together. What one experienced, all experienced. What one felt, all felt. And so there was much care and attention, respect and understanding. There was love. In everything that anyone did, It was done from the source of love that was placed into everything. Now, being so deeply connected by these delicate invisible threads meant the community had to spend time weaving, refining, strengthening, and renewing these threads. If they did not do so, they would risk the thread becoming so frail, so worn, that the connection to all would fade and be lost, creating disconnect. Each person was responsible for the renewal of their thread, and they did so every year at the Great Rejoining of the Heart Council. This was a very important ceremony, a sacred festival that each and everyone took part in, and each and everyone spent 12 milky full moons preparing for. There was much excitement. As the sunlight became shorter, as the stars could be seen for longer, as the winds became cooler, as the waters rushed faster, as the fires burned bigger, as the earth became damper, as the stones became cooler, as the plants became smaller, as the animals became more sleepy, and as the humans began to become more still, all these were signs that the Great Rejoining of the Heart Council was drawing closer. The start of this council was always announced by great golden bristlecone pine, one of the earliest beings to have a delicate invisible thread connected to the first creation. The ceremony would begin as soon as the last pine needle from great golden bristlecone pine fell to the floor and was caught by giant millipede. Her job was so important that she gave herself many legs so that she would never fail in catching that last pine needle. Finally, it was the right and perfect time for the last needle to fall and be caught by giant millipede. With this, everyone cheered and the ceremony began. There was drumming, dancing, feasting, washing and singing. The earth glowed, the rocks illuminated, the stars danced, the plants shone, the animals became bright, and the humans became light. This spread and spread until there was nothing but light touching each and everything. Then the ancient thunder and lightning beings clapped and thumped on the ground 4 times. It was time to begin the next part of the ceremony, the Great Rejoining of the Heart Council itself. Everyone took hold of their delicate invisible threads and began to twist, weave and speak the sacred language of the heart into their threads. Then they began to fill their thread with love and light, and as they did so, the song of the Heart Council was sung in unison. Hey ya, hey ya, yo, hey, hey ya, yo, hey ya, yo, hey ya, hey yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, ho, yo, hey ya, yo, hey ya, hey yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, ho. For 4 suns, the people weaved and sung constantly, and then, rattling 4 times, Rattlesnake announced the next part of the Great Rejoining of the Heart Council. Everyone stopped. In silence, they moved to the ancient stone of Adriel, where the ceremony would be completed. One individual of every being that ever existed walked up to the ancient stone. They each placed a sacred symbol specific to their kind upon Adriel's body and spoke the sacred language of the heart. Adriel thanked each and every one, and then opened his mouth to eat each and every symbol placed upon him. For a brief moment, Adriel became like glass, and all could see the symbols enter his body and turn into bright, fiery light, and then dissolve into him. It was now time to return home until the next ceremony, which would be 12 milky full moons later. With the delicate invisible thread connecting the people now bright and renewed once more, everyone could feel this connection even though they were spread wide, wide, wide across the lands. Those in the arid desert lands could feel, hear and speak to those in the watery marshlands. Those in the mountains could feel, hear and speak to those in the forests. Those in the grasslands could feel, hear and speak to those in the stars. All was well, and all was complete. In what felt like just 2 suns, it was again time for the great rejoining of the Heart Council. Everyone watched the last needle to fall from the great golden bristlecone pine and be caught by giant millipede, announcing the beginning of the ceremony once again. This time, however, there was something different. There was something not quite right. Where were all the humans? The people called a council of emergency. They called a houdame. This had never been done before, as this had never happened before. Where were they? Without the humans being part of the great rejoining of the Heart Council, the delicate invisible threads attached to all beings had never looked so frayed, thin, and worn. Without humans being part of this council and ceremony, it would have an effect on all. The great thunder being Hanuk sent one of his children to explore where the humans were. As he travelled the lands, to his shock, he saw the humans' delicate invisible threads were not fully attached. Some were completely loose, others were severed, and others were so frayed they were barely the width of a fairy wing. This was not good news. The humans had lost the way of speaking the sacred language of the heart. Instead, they spoke the language of isolation, the language of gnaw. Hurriedly, the Thunder Child raced back to share the news of what he saw. The great Thunder Being spoke. I will travel to these lands, and I will remind the humans of their connection. I will fix their threads, and I will return with them so the sacred ceremony can be completed. The community cheered, and the great Thunder Being set off to speak with all the humans. But because the humans could no longer understand the language of the heart and hear and feel the great Thunder Being in the way they used to, when he spoke to the humans, he sounded loud, angry, fierce, and scary. The humans ran inside their dwellings to hide. The great Thunder Being returned disheartened and defeated. Then Hare spoke up and said, It is now the second sun of the ceremony. I will go and speak to the humans. They know of my dance under the full moon, and as it is so close to our full moon of this festival, I am sure they will be able to hear my words. I will go speak with them and return with them so we can complete our sacred rejoining ceremony. Hare collected some nettle seeds and placed them in his pouch to provide as food for his journey. He arrived when it was dark, and with the fullness of Grandmother Moon, he tried to get the attention of the humans. Hello there, brothers and sisters. I am Hare, and I come to remind you of the language of the heart, your place in our ceremony. And Hare had to stop quickly, and he jumped into a bush to hide. To his astonishment, rather than the humans listening to him, they chased him and tried to hit him with what he recognized as small pieces of his stone friends, that of ore. One piece of ore hit his pouch around his neck, and all the nettle seeds fell to the floor. How peculiar, thought Hare. I have never seen such a thing, but it is far too dangerous for me here. Hare returned to the ceremony, disheartened and defeated. Sister Bear stepped forward. It is now the third son of the ceremony. I can walk on 2 legs like the humans, and I hold great strength, courage, and healing medicine. I am certain when the humans see and hear me, they will remember their ways and return with me to the council. All agreed. If anyone could do it, it would be Sister Bear. With her giant paws, Sister Bear picked up some roots gifted to her by Yampa. As she began to walk on her back legs towards the humans, one of them noticed her. Great, thought Sister Bear. The human will surely recognize me in my healing medicine. I will offer them some Yampa root to eat that will help them remember and for them to see their delicate invisible threads. Upon seeing Sister Bear, the human stood, motionless. Yes, thought Sister Bear. This human already recognizes me as they stand in the ceremonial posture of stillness. As Sister Bear went to stretch out her hand and offer Yampa root to the human, they slapped her hand away, screamed, and ran off. All of the Yampa root that had been so kindly gifted to Sister Bear fell to the floor. Sister Bear returned, disheartened and defeated. The community was not sure what to do or what to try. There was much conversation. Why don't we send Frog? Suggested one. Why don't we send Sister Sage? Said another. Why don't we try the ones that fly? Came another. Then from at the back of the circle, a quiet, soft voice was heard. It was the voice of Great Mother Wart. Her aroma was earthy and sweet, and her voice like the sound of wind rushing through a wooden, handcrafted flute. As she spoke, everyone stopped to listen. My brothers and sisters, the humans have forgotten the language of the heart and the guidance of the golden diamond flame. We have not forgotten this, and we can help the humans remember. We have to use magic that is the delicate invisible thread itself, for magic will create magic. We have to use magic in a subtle way, in a way that the humans do not notice at first. If the humans become frightened, there is a risk their threads will be destroyed completely, and this connection will be lost forever. This cannot happen. Everyone listened intently and in silence. The humans have chosen to live closely with you, Great Mother Wart said as she turned to face the Canine people. I am certain you will be the elixir that returns the humans to the language of the heart. It was now the 4th son of the ceremony, the last son before the next part of the ceremony was due to begin. There was no time to waste. The Canine people picked up tobacco and placed it under the wrinkles of their ears and set off. Great Mother Wart also gifted some of her spirit medicine to the Canine people. Great Mother Wart holds great power in healing the heart and allowing it to open. So the Canine people began. With their soft, warm tongues, they licked magic into the hands, feet, and faces of the humans. With their big, powerful, open hearts, they expressed the magic of joy in every way. Whenever the humans slept or rested, the Canine people would lay with them. They sprinkled the magic of tobacco onto the humans so that they could enter the humans' dream time. From this dreamtime state, the Canine people could speak with the humans directly about the delicate invisible thread, language of the heart, and the great rejoining of the Heart Council. It wasn't too long before the humans began to talk amongst themselves about these peculiar dreams they were having of the canine people talking to them. "A canine person came up to me," said one, "in my dream, talking to me of the language of the heart. Very peculiar." "What?" said another. "I also had this dream." Someone from behind them heard this conversation. "Me too. I had a similar dream of a canine person talking to me of the language of the heart, the great rejoining of the Heart Council." It did not matter, for talking was magic enough, and magic in itself. And as the humans began to speak in this way, their delicate invisible threads began to form and become brighter. The canine people would shake their bodies vigorously as often as they could when near a human, allowing the spirit medicine of Great Motherwort to be breathed in and enter the heart of the human. They say this is why the canine people to this day shake their bodies, so that the spirit medicine of Great Motherwort can continue to speak to the hearts of the humans. The canine people would entice the humans to venture into lands that they had never considered to explore on their own. They would follow the canine people into deep magical forests, into caves glistening with starlight, and into waters holding song of 1,000 ancestors. At first, the humans didn't notice the magical lands they were entering. They simply trusted the canine people and followed them into these spaces. But slowly, breath by breath, and one footstep at a time, these magical lands began to have an effect on the humans. As the humans walked with the canine people, as they crunched over fresh, crisp, cool soil, as they lay their hands on the surface of the caves, and as they laughed and splashed in the waters, the heart of the humans began to open, bit by bit by bit. With their hearts opening, the humans began to hear voices in the whisper of the trees, the call of an old sacred language that somehow sounded familiar to them. They began to see the star constellations in the caves and the words softly spoken in the winds, as well as the call of the waters for them to return home. The humans were starting to feel the magic again. It was working. At last, still unaware, the humans had enough magic within them to be ready to return. Their delicate invisible threads were strong and bright, but they needed a way to re-enter the community and attend the great rejoining of the Heart Council. There was only one way this could be done: to enter through the hidden passageway under the silvery sycamore. This passageway would only be accessible up until the 4th sun of the festival, or all would have to wait another 12 milky full moons to try again. This would risk the humans' threads severing altogether. There was no time to waste. The nature spirits had a plan to quickly get the humans to the hidden passageway under the silvery sycamore. The nature spirits left objects of all kinds for the humans to find that, when picked up, would turn into door handles, allowing the humans to arrive directly to the silvery sycamore. A door handle similar to this. Finally, all the humans had gathered under the silvery sycamore. All they had to do was enter the hidden passageway. The silvery sycamore began to sing her calling song. Hey, 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 humans began to tap their feet, then their fingers, and then hum the song of the silvery sycamore. This placed the humans in a deep trance, a deep hypnotic state, as the roots of the silvery sycamore began to come up from the ground and creating tunnels for the humans to walk down and enter the ceremony. The people couldn't believe it. The community was one again. The ceremony could continue and the festival could be completed. There was much joy, excitement, and celebration as the people welcomed the humans home. Then, together in deep song, they all began to sway and weave their delicate invisible threads so that their connections were strong, bright, and renewed. Then Nettle spoke. I will place my people all over the lands where the humans live, and I will place stinging medicine in my people. That way, when a human walks past me, I can give them a sharp sting to stay awake and remember their connection and need to be part of the community and the ceremony. I will place so many of my people around where humans live, it will not be possible to not notice me and to not get a sharp sting once in a while. Then Rattlesnake rattled 4 times. It was now time for completion. In silence, everyone moved to the ancient stone of Adriel, and speaking their old language of the heart, they placed their sacred symbol upon him. Hia mimia no tokia na chewata. Ha me ea tua we eshe. Mane tek ea chesa. Adriel spoke as a reminder. The placing of these symbols means that everyone stays connected and can feel, hear, and speak to one another. We all speak the sacred language of the heart and all agree to uphold this sacred law. Kutsi yow yow, shouted the people. Then Adriel opened his mouth and ate each and every symbol placed upon him. So perhaps, just perhaps, when you are next out and being taken into the places that others do not tread, you may begin to hear a faint call that you recognize. You may receive the sharp sting of nettle. You may feel a pull of invisible thread. The canine people may enter your dream, or they may shake next to you. You may see a peculiar looking nature object that looks like a handle. Will you pick it up? Will you return to the ceremony? Will you return to the language of the heart and rejoin the council? The choice is yours. That is how the canine people remind us to speak the language of the heart, remind us to be in the language of the heart, to live from the heart. This is why the canine people come to be with us. They wish us to return to the light. They wish us to be the light that walks upon the earth. They ask for us to remember. They ask for us to see ourselves and to see them. They ask for us to follow them. They ask for us to see their heart. They ask for us to remember. To remember to be in the language of the heart and to rejoin this sacred council. And let us remember this way. Let us remember our connection, our sacredness, our sacred being, our oneness, our connection to the earth, our connection to all of life and with all of life. I am the earth, and the earth is me. I am the earth, and the earth is me. I am the earth, and the earth is me. I am the earth, and the earth is me. I plant new seeds, and I regrow. 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 Ahe, 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 aho, ahe, 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 aho, ahe, 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 aho, ahe, 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 aho. And so, my friends, with delight and gratitude and blessings, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me in circle. And thanking you for welcoming Tunkasila home. It is done. The space is now open. And with myself, spirit of Tunkasila and Ajal Najai, the soul of Manitou and Lilu, will bring their wisdom forward to speak a language of the heart, to speak to our hearts, and remind us of the sacred one that we are, and the sacred in all things, so that we walk a sacred path of ceremony together. And I thank you. I thank all that joined. I thank Great Mystery, Great Creator, Great Spirit. I thank all beings. I thank all spirits. I thank all that love us, all that support us, all that are here. I thank yourselves. I thank our canine friends, all animal friends, the star beings and star people, the animal people, the plant people, the fungi people, the water people. I thank Earth herself. She is alive. I thank the elementals. I thank the higher realms of the deities and gods and goddesses and angelics and celestial beings and avatars, deities. I think all that exists, all that is known to us, all that is unknown to us. May this story enter your hearts. May this story allow you to remember on whatever level. And I look forward to sharing all that is to be shared in the way that I know how, and in the ways that I don't know how. Many blessings, many blessings. It is done and all is well. It is done and all is well.